Does this work?
Welcome to our 5th annual poetry slam here at Mount Vernon High School.
There's an exclamation point at the end of that. What does that mean? Go. I told him that exclamation points just mean you yell things, and so now he just turns around every time he sees an exclamation point. And he says, Mount Vernon High School! So, my name is Nate Shepard. I am an English teacher here at Mount Vernon High School. This is my son, Zechariah. We will be collectively your MC this evening. Tonight, the students have written some poetry, of course. They've made it through an addition process, and they represent different grade levels, and the best poets in our school, of course, are here. So we're excited about that.
They are excited to perform there.
And so here's how the competition works. We will have 2 competitive rounds. Each student will perform 1 poem in round 1. We have 8 students performing, and there are 5 guest judges, who I will introduce in a minute, who will be scoring the students on the following categories. The originality and creativity of the piece is 1. The performer's physical presence, the emotional appeal of the poem, and the performer's voice and articulation. After the scores are tallied from round 1, the top 4 performers from round 1 that receive the highest scores will then move on to round 2. The student with the highest score will then be crowned the MVHS Grand Slam winner. Grand Slam, baseball reference, pretty cool. The winner will receive a grand prize, I just invented grand prize, including a gift card to the food co-op valued at $100. In the event of a tie, the performer with the highest scores in each individual rubric category will be crowned the winner. I think dance battle would have been better. What do you think? There will be a short intermission between round 1 and 2, where you may take a break or use the restroom if you need. We would like first to welcome our judges. A big thank you to these people for volunteering to be here. I don't know if you know this. They're not getting paid to judge your poetry. So first up, these are all English teachers, of course, because, seriously. Nicole Preston, raise your hand, Nicole Preston. Give it up for Nicole Preston. Kelsey Snyder. Where's Kelsey? Kelsey in the house. Next to Miss Snyder, we have Ben Cooksey. And down in front next to Miss Preston is Miss Elizabeth Bates. We will have a guest tabulator who has advanced degrees in several applied mathematics, engineering from all kinds of universities, which is what it takes to score a poetry competition. Give it up for Kelsey. I'm sorry. Minor. Holy cow. Kelsey Minor. Thank you. Now, crowd participation. We're big on crowd participation in English departments. We need a guest judge. Seriously. And so we need a student who is unbiased. And if you don't know what that means, it's probably not you. So we need an unbiased guest judge. Angelique, I think, maybe biased. A brave soul. Raise your hand. I'm going to let you mull that over, okay? Okay, I'm going to come back to this. Think about, and you have to be wearing tie-dye. Winner! Hey! thought that would work. Okay, I'm going to come back to that. We're not letting this go. And bear in mind that I know some of you in this audience. I saw you walk in. And some of you are my avid students, which means you're in real trouble. So we'll come back to that to get a guest judge. So reminders to the audience, you are a part of the event, of course. You are here to hear, love English, mind-busting, soul-crushing, beautiful, gorgeous pieces of poetry that you like. And at the end, we encourage you to clap and shout and yell and do all kinds of positive feedback. Don't throw yourself on stage. But you are allowed to, and this is written down, so it's important, tattoo the performer's name on your forehead. Or neck. I prefer the neck tat. I think that's my next thing. So you can just be here for these people who get up here and are performing. Be loud, be proud, show them that you love their poetry. We encourage you to encourage the poets. At this time, oh wait, this is your line. Here we go.
Please take a minute to silence your cell phone so that it is not a distraction during a performance.
This is what a kind soul he is. He says, Dad, I can't say that. That's bossy. So you've just been bossed around by a 6-year-old. Finally, please remember that although this is a competition for poetry, we would all like to acknowledge that the ridiculousness of judging people's poetry. But it is a competition. We're here to celebrate, not drag down. So yes, there is going to be a winner, but yes! The bravery. Oh, we got a student? Who is it? Maddie Woods. Excellent. Excellent. My avid students are so excited about you, Maddie Woods. Hope and Yasmin, you should pay her because I was going to call you out. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, poetry. Awesome. These people who get up here, I'm always of the opinion that it is very cool for people to go out and play sports and be on a field or a court, but to get up and perform something that you wrote in front of people, that is horrifying to a degree that even I am not brave enough to do. So we're here to celebrate all those people. So we're going to go in this order. Performances for round 1. I'm just going to bring it up one by one. Okay, so give it up first for Leo Zavala. Give it up for Leo.
Hello, everyone. This first one is called Damaged Goods. Craving disaster, doing it for fun. The rumor spread and the damage is done. The boy was 15. Now this boy had a dream. He would do anything to achieve it. Others despised his cheery spirit. They wanted to tear him down. So the torture started. From composing contortions to calamitous collisions, conspicuous criticisms, they knew that it would directly dim the direction of his delight, and that would directly dictate the dream-driven boy that they damaged, dispirited, and deafened his dream. The boy slowly deteriorated, bit by bit. He wanted to be a singer, and they took him down multiple notches with what they said. Weird, awkward, or most of the time just silence with disgusted and discouraging eyes. The boy washed away as fast as the white river water did. All those judgmental eyes jinxed his joy, made his eyes jaded, put his joy in a jail. He was no longer jittery. To them, he was a joke. So he was now weary of their malice. They pointed out his flaws, never mentioned his success, even when he tried to stay on everybody's good side and try not to say anything wrong and tried to do the right thing because he was controlled by fear. Fear of being shunned, fear of making a mistake. Because that's all he could hold on to. People didn't like him. At home, his parents argued, both of his parents neglected him, and the friends he had left. He has a dream, but his spirit is broken with the will still intact, but nowhere to go with only fear to hold on to. Fear is the only thing that lingered, that clinged. Even through the hallway, even outside, all he could hear was the sarcastic sympathy of his classmates and the disappointment in his eyes, those who were spiteful. All he saw was the smug looks on their faces, thinking he deserved it. All he felt was the stressful sadness that gave him no satisfaction, and they all sardonically whispered behind his back. And all the words echoed through his mind countless times, thinking to himself that the people, his parents, the strangers, the monsters, constantly crave for countless conundrums and their curses constantly getting thrown at him. Constantly. And at that point, he didn't care. He didn't care that he lost his friends. He didn't care that he came home to unloving parents. He didn't care that people judged him. Nothing they said, nothing they thought, nothing they did could destroy his dream. They could ruin his reputation. They could strip him of his spirit, but they can't destroy his dream. He may be damaged goods, but he's never running away. He has a message to tell. And I guess this just means he has another one.
Oh, you're good, buddy. All right. Give it up next for Nathaniel Wheeler.
Hello. So, for my first poem, I guess, I will be reciting The North. A lifeless winter. Cold air piercing lungs like needles of ice. Pale snow hits with the hostility of bullets. Time-wrinkled eyes peer out into that white wood through suffocating bindings of fur. Aged frame of leathery muscle hides behind pelted cloths of bear, deer, and fox. A thin staff is gravely gripped in worn, chiseled hands, staring out into that frozen void of blizzard. Skeleton trees line a wintry pathway above a permafrost tomb. Northern tempest winds bellow against his hunched and decrepit back, whispering silent thoughts to him. You're going to die out here, says a rasping reaper. The words repel from his grizzled mind like a fleeing defeated army. But he feels his old, callous heart slow to a crawl. Eyelids become great weights that blind vision, and he feels a cloak of darkness engulf him. You're going to die out here. Life erupts through veins again. Eyes reopen to look upon a small shelter. Home. Safety. Life. The door flies open with a wailing screech and he brushes the snow from his clothing. It feels like icy glue against his fingertips. Hands that were once tired and rigid become soft and gentle as he nurses a flimsy match to life. Sparking embers form into orange flower of fire. The home is filled with an aura of heat as he rests himself by a now raging inferno. The flames seemed to dance atop the hearth like blazing ballerinas. Another long, tiring day fades into night. The wind rocks the old home like a mocking lullaby. And so he rests within his bed of fur protection, hearing the truth in the winds. Tomorrow is another day, another trek into that frozen oblivion, another storm, another danger.
You're going to die out here.
Thank you.
Angelique Bettis.
Angelique Bettis.
This is titled Origami Paper Hearts. I learned one day how to make origami paper hearts. It was sudden and unexpected. I didn't wake up that morning thinking, damn, can't wait to learn how to do origami, because I was busy thinking about something else. Someone else, I should say. I was thinking about a girl. Shocking, yes, I know. And I was thinking about how much I would have rather been holding her hand in that very moment, but instead, I was all alone in my bed. You see, when I learned how to make these origami paper hearts, I just knew I would make one for her. I would make one special for her, one that would show her how I truly felt. I kept making them and creating them, hoping to craft the most perfect paper heart fit for a perfect girl. I moved my hands at the speed of light, folding, creasing, bringing to life this little token of eternal adoration. And yes, I wound up making one after another until those little origami paper hearts spilled over the edge of the table onto the floor. The sun was shining so brightly that day. It was shining so brightly upon my little curly-haired head that I didn't see the perfect origami paper heart was right in front of me the entire time. That first paper heart I made, that was the definition of perfection. That was living in the moment, loving in the moment, all messily wrapped into one creation that I never realized was so full of majesty. I was so blind from that sunlight that I didn't even see the dark storm clouds rolling in. I didn't even see the way her smile would falter every now and then. With my hands covered in paper cuts, I showed her all of my creations, revealing to her every single origami paper heart I had ever made. And she smiled at me. She smiled at me, and it hurt so badly. I knew then I had to stop making origami paper hearts. I had to close up shop. My hands ached so very much, as did my tender heart, and I knew I finally had to stop. I looked her in the eyes, and I handed her that origami paper heart. And I said, "This is for you. It's special. It's the first one I ever made." And she was the first soul I had ever loved. When she walked out that door, she tucked that origami paper heart into her pocket, and she never looked back. And neither did I. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next up, give it up for Jason Carter.
So this is my poem titled, At Least I'm Not Lazy. I have OCD, which a lot of people think is just about being clean. When I started to say that this isn't how I wanted to be, a girl told me, everyone is a little OCD. There's nothing wrong with being clean. At least you're not lazy. Sure, I'm not lazy. And perhaps it's a plus, but it doesn't change the fact that every pointless thing I do is a must. Or that sometimes I feel a loss of control over my mind as a whole, because even when I indulge in the compulsions, my actions take a toll. And I told her, short and sweet, that it's not about being clean, it's about being neat. And that sometimes it isn't even just about being neat, but I simply have these compulsions that I have to meet. I tried to make her see that every door has to be shut and locked at least 3 times before I'm ever able to leave or sleep and finally rest my mind. And I told her about my folders. Every paper has to be in order, and every page has to align with the border, and it has to look decent, and every assignment must be in order from oldest to most recent. If I can't manage to make things match up just right, my chest starts to get tight, and my head feels light, and try as I might, I just can't regain sight. She looked at me like I was a little tight, and spoke as if I was wrong and she was right. Well, she said, that's not that bad. So then I spoke all the little things that make me mad, because maybe if she knew all the things that set me off, she could understand why I just want to be able to stop. I can't leave a classroom without pushing in all the chairs against the tables. I either do it, or I'm sent out before I'm able. When it's the latter, my heart turns to glass and threatens to shatter, because I can feel it start to beat faster and faster, and suddenly I become unstable simply because I couldn't push the chairs in against the tables. And she took a step back, then asked me to take a deep breath and count to 10, but I was not done yet, and she was going to hear me out till the end. She had to understand that I am without power. If I don't touch the bathroom door 3 times with each hand, I can't take a shower. That I can't leave the store until I fix the shelves, which can take hours. That my mother thinks I'm dumber than I used to be, because unless the volume is at a prime number, I cannot watch TV. I had to make her see that this is not play. If I don't stop the microwave exactly 3 seconds to 0, my hair starts to turn gray. And even though I'm an atheist, I start to pray that I don't go blind, because the lines start to blend, and out of my head, I can see only red. She had to understand that I am in a cage, prisoner to the compulsions that confine my mind and make me subject to oppression by my obsessions, and not only victim to what makes people say, I'm glad I'm not like him. Somehow, in the course of trying to explain all my pain, her mind changed, and me not being lazy gave way to me simply being crazy. And that's okay for her to say. It's the 57th time I've been called that in 83 days. I don't want you to think that she was being mean. After all, she thought OCD was simply about being clean. She didn't know of all the dread. Or that it's less like enjoying a neatly made bed and more like having a loaded gun in your mouth than enjoying the taste of lead. Maybe it came as a shock that the guy she thought was just so neat turned out to be such a freak. And perhaps she thinks that only the strongest of medications can save me, because I am nothing short of crazy. But hey, at least I'm not lazy.
Give it up for
Josephine. Josephine.
Josephine
Jensen.
Jensen
Pineda.
Pineda.
Hello. Everlasting. People stop trying. People drift away. People don't stay in touch past high school. We say different. We have reason to do so. We are a family forged in forests, rivers, land, with the trees as our cradle and the wind our lullaby. The earth is everlasting, as are we. These bonds, crafted from raw material and kept alive through electronic threads, connect our souls to one another. When one leaves, we all feel pain. Do you have a second family? A family that shares no genetic code with you? Do you have a group of people that would bleed just for you? We have. We are everlasting. We have wept and laughed and fallen far and traveled even further just to keep these ropes from fraying, just to stay afloat. We lost an important link last fall, lost into the world. We think he's out there, somewhere, fighting for himself. But just like any other tragedy, just like every other plot twist in the story that is life, we move on, stronger, or perhaps just weaker, holding on to connections like we're drowning and we're each other's life rings. 2 years ago, I did not think that a 5-day summer camp would give me anything but fond memories and cool strangers to never speak to again. Look how wrong I was. Here I am, part of a group that has given their all to a different walk of life. We are naturalists and survivalists, hunters and gatherers, storytellers and adventurers. As the fires burn and the trees turn upside down, as time becomes irrelevant, as our shoulders press closer, our heads slump and bonds twist around our souls, locking us together like puzzle pieces. We aren't everlasting. Someday, even Earth will turn to dust. Someday, I will say goodbye, but it won't be in this lifetime, or the next, or the next, or the next. It will be ages upon ages upon eons from now, when life, as we know it, has ended. But who's to say we still won't exist?
Round of applause for Sasha Dean.
So, I'm Sasha Dean, and my first poem is called Dear Son. Quote, Dear son, you are worthless and irrelevant to the plot line of this story, and if you think you see me there for you, then I think your vision's blurry. You've wanted to fight me for almost 9 whole years, but I don't even need to use my fists to drown you in your tears. I'll just remind you of your loneliness, how no one ever loved you, and then throw you in a ditch. You want to kill yourself, and please do. Dear son, this world is better off without watching you get yourself beat, and I'm surprised your parents didn't leave you on a city street. It's been too long since I've last seen your face, and well, it makes me feel glad, because even your looks are a disgrace. Dear son, you may think that I'm an asshole, but I'm just showing you what's real, and I have left you with scars that can never fully heal, and I will never feel sorry for causing you a little strife. I was the one holding the gun, so you just went and grabbed the knife. Dear son, you even failed at that. You couldn't drive the knife in. I should have let you die when I had the chance. That was back then, slapping you back and forth across a 150 square foot apartment before dragging you outside and then cramming you into my trunk compartment. Dear son, I drove us up to Bellingham with my child molesting girlfriend. The cop showed up to our front door, and I guess that's all. This is the end. Dear son, I've never wrote a letter before. This is my first try. So I'll just leave you all alone, like I have for all this time. End quote. This is how it was meant to be. Everybody has letters to their dad. This was his to me. But, dear dad, even though you left me, you're the one that got abandoned, because I have left you sitting on the edge of my mind stranded, which is where you belong, like a dog with his chains on. And when did you realize your life had gone downhill? Was it when your wife started acting like Michael Jackson? Dear Dad, for every time that you murdered me back then, the more now I want to stay alive. And I guess I'll see you in hell, because that's where killers go when they die.
All right, next up, Inda Dahlstrom.
My poem is called Observations of an Astrophysicist. I am the moon, silently orbiting Earth, as you rise in the west and set in the east. We are the brightest lights in the sky, but I just reflect your light. I stabilize Mother Earth's rotation while she shakes and twitches on her axis, unsteady from the hummer that hit her, unexpected and leaving fire in its wake, like a meteorite. A fire of confusion that I couldn't see because my dark side never saw the sun. You were always running away from Mother Earth, unable to see her that way. Her oceans became unpredictable. Sea levels rose and tsunamis overtook the land. Before the accident, checkers at the grocery store already had a hard enough time deciphering her accent. A tongue that they hadn't heard before, like a new song that startles you. They were even more confused when she began to overshare, uncontrollable because of her brain tumor. That earthquake shaking tectonic plates up and down, forming ridges and valleys in her frontal lobe. A supernova, sensing imminent explosion, still lived and worked. His work was a catalyst speeding his destruction, until his only purpose was to keep his son, and daughter moon alive. But I knew it was only time until he would become a supernova or a black star, or a black hole. Speaking of black holes, God is a black hole, invisible, but we study him. We can only infer his presence by observing his effects. But it's hard to blame something that you can't see, something that you can't grab by the collar and shove against the wall as you spit in his face, something that you can't ask, why did my mom get hit by a car while she was praying the rosary? You also can't thank invisibility for coaxing the heavens to work together again, but I think that God knows. As for my family, all I know is that we will always be celestial bodies, held together by the silver and gold that we are made of.
All right, and last but not least,
Shawnee Ford.
Okay, so this is my poem, I'm Black. I'm black, and I'm white. Yet for some reason, this explanation seems unfathomable to the common sheltered bystander. They stare at me and they can't seem to understand how I worked out, as if reproduction is unachievable between different races, as if love sees and cares what shade your skin comes in. This idea, this concept, just blows their tiny minds. They look at me like I gotta choose, as if I can just pretend that one of the two people who made me is forgettable, as if I'm just gonna ignore my hair, nose, lips, and all those little things that say, hey, this girl is black. I'm not ashamed of my collection of shades, so do not dismiss my blackness because I'm also white. You do not get to act as if the white completely erases everything else, as if half of me is not important enough to get its recognition. I am black, and I hate grape soda. Collard greens and grits, disgusting. I can swim and I suck at basketball. I'm still black. Do not decide that I'm not because I don't fall into your outdated and pointless stereotypes. Do not touch my hair. Just because you've never seen anything like it does not mean that gives you free rein to pull and tangle these curls. Do you know how much hair product costs these days? Do not tell me that I'm not allowed to be offended by the way white kids said the N-word. As if me being half black means you offending my culture is okay. As if the fact that it's in a song completely destroys the meaning of the word. As if you, having grown up in the absence of black people, means you aren't actually spewing racial slurs from an ignorant mouth just because they can't hear you. Do not tell me I can't be what I am because I'm not enough of it. You tell me I'm too black to be white, but too white to be black. As if your opinion really matters to me. As if I asked you what you think I should do with my hair. As if I care if you think I talk black. I am black, and I am white, but I am more too. I am more than the color of my skin, but I am not less. I am the product of progression, of love that breaks barriers and destroys stereotypes. I am the idea my ancestors fought for. I am the proof of what marches and the refusal to back down creates. I am freedom, I am equality, I am choice, I am black, but I am also white, and I am so much more. Thank you.
Okay. I don't know how to use a microphone, obviously. Let's give a big round of applause for round one. That was spectacular. So that completes round one. At this time, we're going to have a 4-minute intermission. 4 minutes. 4. Yeah. Small correction. There is, as of yet, no poetry merchandise. So I told you to go buy something. Hopefully there's no one wandering the halls looking for poetry books and offering random people money for poetry. Although I think you could do that. So let's go. Come on up. Read your line here.
The top performers from round one are
in no particular order. Nathaniel Wheeler, Jason Carter, Sasha Dean, and Shamade Ford. So give it up for them. And of course, all 8. And that was just in the same order that they came up. So we're going to go same order for them to perform here. So please welcome back to the stage, Nathaniel Wheeler.
So this one is called The Performer. The beer bottle flies through the air and smashes against my face. Blood, sweat, and booze blur my vision. I stare out at them, and their faces twist into savage demons. Cigar smoke bellows out of their contorted mouths through malformed teeth. I feel doped. I am duped. I grab at dissolving curtains, that green fabric sinking into my battered skin. And they laugh. They laugh like drunk apes. When does the show start? Says some rich, fat-ass socialite bursting out of his Gucci suit. And I'm silent. But I feel my lanky legs pull my frail frame up. I somehow manage to get the mic back up to my cotton mouth. And I stare out at a kaleidoscope of colors. It's so dark, so violent, so unforgiving. And yet, it's so beautiful. I feel my lips tear apart and my yellow teeth glare in the spotlight. I'm smiling. This is my life. This is my choice. I bearing it all for no one but myself. So you know what? Let's enjoy the moment. The show must go on. Thank you.
Give it up for Jason Carter.
So this is my second poem, which I like to disclose is a hyperbole, so the whole thing is a blatant exaggeration and a joke, just so you guys don't get more concerned for me than you potentially already are. Anyways, this is titled Motivational Speaker. I am suffering. My arthritis is the most severe case in the entire world, plus Canada. I am young, 83 years of age due to my suffering. My bones are corroding in on themselves, desperately hoping I shrink the single inch necessary to become 2 feet tall. I threw a coin to wishing well the other day. I wished for someone to cut my legs off at the knee for me. Just slice them right off. They're as useless as Mariah Carey during a New Year's performance. I'd like to believe dreams really do come true, but my legs are still attached. Tragic. Everything just adds to my suffering, honestly. I was shot in the leg on the way to school the other day. The right one, no less. When I asked the nurse for some assistance, as my bleeding would have been enough to fill a bright blue kiddie pool to drown myself in, she said I could either lie down for 10 minutes or have a Band-Aid before I went to class. So I called my mother to come pick me up in the sewer. She told me she was very sorry I got shot in the leg, and I could absolutely ride my bike home. I am a living life alert commercial. Help me, for I have fallen and cannot get up. My arms aren't any better than my legs, I'm afraid. They're much like my self-esteem, my pride, and my mother's love. Virtually non-existent. They're as fragile as my will to live. Every time they're touched, they shatter. I have to piece them back together the same way I try to mend my broken family, with duct tape. I call the color of the tape soul gray because it reflects the gray pigment of the gaping hole where my heart should be. It was forcibly ripped out by my ex-girlfriend. She robbed me at gunpoint and demanded I give her my heart. I said no, explaining how I'm not really good at sharing things, especially vital organs, so she ripped it right out of my chest, leaving me forever hollow inside. My eyesight is far from perfect either. Don't let these glasses or my school bus driver application fool you. I'm actually blind. I watched the results of the 2016 presidential election, and boom, blind. I heard our president, Orange Cheeto Voldemort, Donald Trump, say the words, "There's no one who has more respect for women than I do," and my eyes rolled so hard that they simply fell out of my head, right onto the floor. I do still enjoy staring out the window, though.
Thought that was kind of unnecessary of Mariah Carey, but... Please welcome to the stage one more time, Sasha Dean.
I love you all, by the way. I'm just gonna say that now. This next poem is called Have You Ever? Now that I'm up here, let me tell you all a little something about myself. Growing up, I was a flipped-out freak show foster kid who would follow people around, and I did whatever they did. Have you ever experienced seeing 3 different people arrested before the age of 3 and then 4 different religions before the same time next year? Nah, that was me. So I ended up going to live with my dad, and that was a downright disaster. He would do a couple of shots and then go out with all his guns so he could bust the ladies from the back and then his brothers from the front. Have you ever been laughing because we're happy to see your old druggy daddy had brought home some crabby meth head's daughter to be your new mommy? Through all of this experience, I've learned one thing in total. Understand that you're the best until the day the Undertaker comes to take you 6 feet under. I am the greatest man to ever walk on planet Earth, to write lines, to spit fire, plus I am the best at giving birth. Now trust me, some of you people in the back, that's not as weird as you might think. I can see your faces. See, when I read my lines aloud to you, I become the creator to all you normal human beings by inspiring you and infusing your life with a whole new sense of meaning. Have you ever been given a choice and decided to take that shot? Well, they say you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, but does that mean I missed all of the shots that I chose not to aim at my brain? Someone once told me that I wasn't worth the dirt on their shoe, and they were right. I'm a slimy sleazebag sliding down a slippery slope to my destination where I dream of a damn fine damsel in distress. And she's donning a low-cut, drabby dress. Now, Mr. Harry doesn't want me to talk about what happens afterwards on stage, but I'm sure you all know what it is. I need a new topic. One of you have a new topic I can use? I got one. Let's teach the audience about this competition itself. Good idea, me. Okay, you see, the first round of this competition actually began at the tryouts, and when I was there, I listened to all these other poets' poems, and I thought to myself, damn, have I got something to show them? And I did. Just now. Have you ever won a poetry slam? No? Well, neither have I. At least, not until tonight. And yet the point is not the point. The point is the poetry.
I can't do it. That's a little low.
Very picky. Go. Give it up for somebody.
Give it up for Shama Ford.
This is my poem, Strong Woman. I want to dedicate it to my mom because I feel like it embodies like what I think about her. I am the living, breathing product of a woman. From the very moment I entered this mess of a place, I've known women. All types, from each end of every spectrum, short and tall, wide and slim. Women with voices who shook rooms and whooped smiles out of lips using only their words. Women in every shade. I have held hands with women as we've crossed the street. I have known women who cry in the car and can't cook cake from a box. I have danced with women under colored light until we couldn't dance anymore. I have laughed and cried and sung with women. I have made friendships full of love and laughs and sometimes even lies with women. I know women. And out of every type of woman, the only one I wanted to be was a strong woman. I've heard this idea thrown around over all the time. A strong woman. But I never agreed with their examples. They said a strong woman never cries. As if to be strong, your teardrops must have shriveled up to dust and blown away in the wind. They said a strong woman is unbreakable. As if to be strong, your skin must be made of cement and you must have walls so high no one can see the top. They said a strong woman is detached. As if to be strong, your blood must run cold and heartbeat slow. They said a strong woman is independent. As if to be strong, you must have only your own shoulder to lean against. That is not my strong woman. My strong woman feels everything. She lets her tears run steady until she has cried rivers that float her to an ocean of dreams. My strong woman needs no one, but wants many. She allows her friends to carry her when she is too weak to walk. When she has pushed boulders up hills and built houses from leaves and mud, my strong woman is a woman who gets back up, who continues despite the constant push of the universe on her shoulders. I know women. Women who love and laugh, women who cry and yell, women who feel an overwhelming sense of determination to continue. That is my strongly.
Okay, so once again, let's give it up for our 4 last contestants and all 8 of our poets, please. We're going to give a few minutes for the judges to tabulate their final scores and to be counted, and then we will come back up with winner and runner-up of the slate. Okay, if we could get all of the performers up on stage, please. Say congratulations
to all of our performers.
Okay, so without further ado, our runner-up in the 2017 Mount Vernon High School Poetry Slam is Shamade Ford. And the winner of the 2017 Mount Vernon High School Poetry Slam is Jason Hart. This was a lot of fun, and I don't think we're getting a speech. Thank you everybody for coming out. Thank you to the performers once again. I don't know if, no, she doesn't look like she wants to say anything at all. So, photo op. Yeah, I will get out of the way in right now.
Why are we standing?
I don't know.
Pictures?
Smile.
Take pictures.
Photo op.
I don't know how to smile.
Photo op. That should be your next poem.
Inspiration.
Okay. Okay, one more round of applause. Thank you very much for coming out tonight.